In this video, I'm going to unbox this Samsung MU8000 4K television and go through the picture settings to see what's new for 2017. Coming right up. Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTV Test here. I'm a professional TV reviewer and calibrator. In this channel, we do scientific TV reviews, settings tips and tricks, video interviews, and also the odd unboxing video like this one. So if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing by clicking the button below. Thank you. The Samsung MU series is a range of 4K TVs from the South Korean brand, which is one rung below its top-end QLED series. We will be interested to see what its picture quality is like, but before doing that, we will need to unbox this TV first. Let's get started. We've now unboxed the Samsung MU8000. Our review sample is the 49-inch version, model number UE49MU8000. So we've unboxed this television. Let's go through the picture menu and see what settings we can adjust to get the best picture quality out of this television. If we press the settings button on the remote control, and then if we go into the picture mode, there are various picture modes, and out of the box it will come in the standard mode, which is far too blue in terms of the color temperature, causing skin tones to look a bit pasty and non-realistic. So probably the best thing for you to do is to switch to a movie mode. But I'm pleased to see that there are two extra modes on this Samsung MU8000 as well, the Cowl Night and the Cowl Day mode. So the Cowl Night mode is meant for nighttime viewing. So if you get a professional calibrator in to calibrate your television, hopefully he will be calibrating for daytime and nighttime usage. And the Cowl Night mode is meant for nighttime usage, and the Cowl Day mode is for daytime viewing. Previously, these two modes, I have had to go into the service menu to unlock these two modes. But I'm pleased to see that on the 2017 model, this is the first 2017 Samsung TV that we have received for review. So I'm pleased to see that these two modes are present out of the box in the user menu without needing anyone to go into the service menu to unlock them. So Cowl Night for nighttime calibration and Cowl Day for daytime calibration. If we go back into movie mode and go through the settings, if we just click on expert settings, backlight just dictates the light output that the LCD backlight generates from the picture. So the higher you make it, the brighter the picture will be. But if you decrease it, then the picture will obviously become dimmer. And getting the backlight control correct is very important for a couple of reasons. First, LED LCDs, usually if you actually drive the backlight too high, then you may elevate the black level for nighttime viewing. But if you let the backlight go down too low for daytime viewing, then the light output is insufficient and the picture will look too dark for daytime viewing. So a professional calibrator, or even yourself, you can adjust these to the backlight control to set the light output correctly on the television. And a big part of calibration is actually to do with trying to get the light output correct that is appropriate for your environment. Let's say if you watch in a dimly lit environment, you would probably want your backlight to be slightly lower to get the deeper black level without any clouding or flash lighting uniformity issues affecting your viewing. But if you watch in primarily a sunlit room, then you probably would like your backlight to be higher so that your picture won't be overpowered by the ambient lighting. Right, so that is the backlight control. We'll just set it back to 12, which is the default value in movie mode. And if we go into brightness, right, brightness control allows us to set the digital black level of the television. So if you put brightness up too high, which is exceeding the correct video black level, then your picture will look washed out. But if you set it too low, it will just crush all the shadow detail. You won't be seeing any shadow detail whatsoever. So we'll just set it back to 0, which is the default settings. And contrast control affects the digital white level. Sharpness control dictates the amount of edge enhancement that is applied to the image on screen. Color control is a global adjustment that affects all the colors. Tint control affects the hue of the colors. Apply picture settings to all sources. Digital clean view is a noise reduction technology that Samsung has implemented on their televisions. Auto Motion Plus settings controls the amount of motion compensated frame interpolation that is applied to the video on screen. If we go into the sub-menu here, you can see that there is a jitter reduction control, but not the usual blur reduction control, which suggests to me that maybe this TV has a lower refresh rate. LED clear motion is basically black frame insertion, so if we actually switch it on, I think you can see that the image becomes dimmer, and maybe from the camera you may be able to see some flicker visible on screen. And black frame insertion is just a way to generate sharper motion by inserting black frames in between the original frames. So we'll just switch it off for now. and I'll explore this in my review. Local dimming, let's have a look at it. Alright, so there are 3 settings here of low, standard and high. This TV is an H-lit LED LCD. It is not a full array local dimming display, so any local dimming will be quite limited in its effectiveness. So I would usually like to call them pseudo local dimming rather than true local dimming. Contrast enhancer is just a dynamic contrast setting. HDR mode tries to mimic an HDR effect from standard dynamic range content. I usually turn it off because to truly reflect the filmmakers and directors' intentions, SDR content should actually be viewed at SDR, not in HDR. And then if we can, and then color tone is just various color temperature ranging from warmer to cooler. And white balance controls allows us to adjust the 2-point white balance controls of RGB gain stands for red gain, green gain, and blue gain. RGB offset stands for red offset, green offset, and blue offset. The gain controls affect the brighter portion image, and the offset controls affect the darker portion image. And then new for 2017, the Samsung TVs have a 20-point white balance controls as well. Previously, they only have 10-point white balance, but on their 2017 sets, they have implemented a 20-point white balance control, therefore matching the LG sets. Gamma. When I did my first look of the QLED television, I initially thought that this gamma setting here allow viewers or users or calibrators to manually select a transfer function. HLG stands for hybrid log gamma. ST2084 is the standard for HDR10 content, and BT186 is for standard dynamic range content. Initially, I thought that all Samsung 2017 televisions allow you to select to force a certain transfer function, even though the content is not capable of it. But it turns out that it is only an automatic detection, so you can't really try and apply a high dynamic range or HLG transfer function on a standard dynamic range content. So the gamma will auto-detect itself depending on the source. But within each transfer function, you can at least make it brighter or make it darker according to your viewing environment. And then RGB only mode allows you to set the color decoding correctly. Color space settings, there are 3 values: auto, native, and custom. So auto is presumably this TV is going to adjust the color gamma mode according to the incoming source, and I will need to test it with my kit to see whether that is indeed the case. But generally, from past experience, auto is the correct setting for both SDR and HDR. Native just basically allows the TV to map everything to its native color gamma mode. Custom allows us to adjust the 3 primary colors of red, green, and blue, and the 3 secondary colors of yellow, cyan, and magenta. And under each color, there are 3 further parameters for me to adjust red, green, and blue parameters. So on other sets, this is the color space custom on the Samsung television is actually their advanced color measurement system, or CMS. On other brands, the CMS is generally based on HSL, which is hue, saturation, and luminance. But on Samsung televisions, it is based on RGB, and therefore you get to actually adjust RGB. And in terms of effectiveness, I think there is no difference as long as it's well implemented between HSL CMS or an RGB-based CMS like what's found on the Samsung television. And reset picture, right? Let's get out from the picture menu and see if there are other things. I noticed that, I think I've actually pointed this out in my first look of the Samsung QLED as well, that the game mode is no longer found in the picture submenu. Instead, you have to go back to the general submenu and go into external device manager to engage game mode. And on the QLED television, certainly, you can actually use voice activation or voice control to engage game mode directly by just pressing a button on your smart remote and saying game mode. But I'm not entirely sure whether this TV is capable of it. I'll need to test it once I actually get an internet connection hooked up to the television. I've just basically unboxed this and go through the settings. I haven't even done anything in terms of feeding content, watching content. So this is fresh out of the box. I'm just going through all these various settings for you. And another thing that was previously found in the picture menu on previous Samsung sets on the 2015 and 2016 Samsung televisions is the HDMI UHD color control, but it is now found in the general menu under the external device manager, and this setting allows you to achieve a higher chroma or higher bit depth with 4K content. I think that's about it for the settings on this Samsung MU8000. I'll be reviewing it over the next couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, because I'm just terribly busy with many reviews at the moment. But I'll be spending some time with it. If you want to know anything about this television, if you want us to test anything, feel free to let us know in the comment section below. If you found this video useful, please click the like button and subscribe to the HDTV Test YouTube channel. I know many of you are already subscribers, but in case you are not subscribed yet, for one reason or another, I would appreciate that you subscribe to this channel, because I try to give as much valuable tips and tricks, information, unboxing videos and reviews as possible. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time.